So we can determine the cumulative frequency. This is cumulative frequency from the table that is given to us initially. So for us to determine the cumulative frequency for each of these units of output, what we're going to do is this 7 is 7 there, 7 plus 0. So 11 is going to be 7 plus 11. 11 plus 7 will give us 18. So between the unit, the range 31 to 40, the cumulative frequency is 18. 41 to 50, the cumulative frequency will be 18 plus this 14 here, which will give you what? 32. So for 51 to 60, the cumulative frequency from the frequency is going to be what? 32 plus 8, which gives you 40. Will give you what? 40. So then for 61 to 70, the cumulative frequency is going to be 40 plus 5, which gives you what? 45. So you see that it is approximately equal to the numbers of employees that were given initially. So remember that we want to determine from this, what we want to do, we want to determine the lower quartile, the median quartile, and then the upper quartile. The lower quartile, the upper quartile, and then, the median quartile, and then the upper quartile. So first thing we need to do here is that we are going to look at how to obtain the lower quartile. Remember I said that quartile actually means 1/4. 1/4. So for this, we are going to take the first quarter. What we are going to do for the first quarter, go ahead. Just hold on 1 minute. Okay, so we want to obtain the first quarter. So for us to get the first quarter, what we are going to do is we are going to divide 45 by 4, or simply like the formula that was given to us initially for the lower quarter. We have the lower quarter is 0.25, and then n. N stands for the number of employees in this case. N stands for the number of employees in this case. So what we are going to have there is going to be what? 0.25 times 45 times 45. 0.25 times 45. Or in the other case, in the other way around, it is 25% N, which is also what? 25 over 100 times 45. They are all going to give you the same result, any way you want to go about it. So this is going to give you 11.25, and this is also going to give you 11.25. If you multiply 0.25 times 45, it will give you 11.25. If you multiply 25 by 45, then you divide the result by 100, it will give you 11.25. That is for, and this is for the what? The lower quartile. The lower quartile. So let us obtain for the median quartile. The median quartile, so the median quartile, we are going to have this as what we go 0.50 N, or you can go by saying 50% N, which would actually be 0.50 N there stands for 45, which is the number of occurrence, 45. So what you're going to have as a result is 0.50, which is actually 0.5, is going to give you what? 22.5. So 22.5. So it is the 22.5th item, precisely. This is item. Okay, so then for the upper For the upper quartile, for the upper quartile, you have 0.75 N. 0.75 N, or the other way around, 75% N. 75% N. So which will give you 0.75 times 45. If you multiply 0.75 by 45, the result is going to be 33.75 item. 0.75 item. So that's for the first quarter, the second quarter, the first quarter, the lower quarter. What am I saying first? The lower quarter, the median quarter, and then the upper quarter. The lower quarter is 11.25. It is the 11.25th item among the unit of output. The median quarter gave us 22.5. And then the upper quarter gave us what? 33.75. So that's not where we're going to stop. That's not where we're going to stop. We actually need to go further. We actually need to go further to find the values of the quartile items. We can find the values of the quartile items. Finding So now we want to find the values of the quartile items. We want to find the values of the quartile items. So for us to find the values of the quartile items, there's something we need to do. There's something we need to do. So the lower quartile, since according to from the table that we had before, between 21 to 30, and then 31 to 40, and all that. So the lower quartile there are 7 items in the first group. From the table, remember the table we had 21 to 30, and it says we have 7 items. You remember 21 to 30, we had 7 items. So from the lower quartile, the first group, we had 7 items, which is between 21 to 30. And the quartile that we had was 11.25. The quartile we had was 11.25. So the quartile item is going to be, so the quartile item now, the quartile item, will be 11.25 minus 7. 11.25 minus 7. 11.25 minus 7, which will actually give us, is going to give us, you can put it this way, 11.25 minus 7.00. So this is 5, this is 2. So 11 minus 7 is what? 4. So it gives us 4.25. 4.25. 4.25. So that is for the group, the first part. So the formula for obtaining the value of the lower quartile, the lower quartile is denoted with this Q1. Lower quartile is denoted with Q1. So we can say what Q1 is equal to the first item, which is the lower limit of the class interval. The lower limit of the class interval. L, call that L, plus plus the value of the quartile item, which is what we are having here now. Quartile item times the number of units times the units divided by, now you divide that by the next value from the table. From the table, if you look at the table, we had 21 to 30 for 7, 31 to 40 for what? 11. Did you get that? So the next value on the table, So let me call that next value on the table, let me call it n. Let me call that n. So we'll use this formula now. So what we are going to do to obtain the lower quartile, is going to be for Q1. Just are you following? Q1. All right, so let me take it. That is why I said don't write, just listen. Now listen. Now, we have been able to obtain the lower quartile, median quartile, and the upper quartile. But now they are telling you to obtain the value of the quartile items. They want the value for each quartile items. You have units of output between 21 to 30, between 31 to 40, and all that. You understand now? They have items, and they want you to provide the value for these items. What is the value for these items? So I've been able to bring up the formula. This is a formula, and I was explaining what each of them stands for. But the first thing is the lower quartile, we are denoting it or representing it with Q1. Do you get my formula? So the quartile item, remember when we solved to get the lower quartile, we got 11.25. Did you get that? So I brought out the table again. The table 21 to what? To 30. We had what? 7, I mean. 31 to 40, we had what? 11. 41 to 50, we had what? 14. And so on and so forth. So we are following the table. So you see, in case you see me bring up numbers, you know where I'm getting them from. So now, what we did, now to just get the quartile items, which is this Q1 now, the quartile items, you are going to, so Q1, which is the lower quartile, the value of the lower quartile is Q1, is equal to the lowest items plus the quartile items times the units over n. N there stands for the next value, the next frequency. Okay, this should be F. The frequency. Frequency. This is finding the values. So F stands for frequency now. The next frequency from your table. That's what you're going to use to calculate it. So now we've been able to get the quartile items, so we don't stress ourselves now. The quartile items is 4.25. So L, the lower quartile from 21 to 30. 21 to 30, which we had 7, and then 31 to what? 40, which we had 11. Are you following now? So the lowest quartile there for this other part, now the first part now we're taking 30. Are you getting that? We're taking 30 plus, what is Q1 now? Q1 quartile item is 4.25. Did you get that? 4.25. 4.25. 30 is 4.25 times the unit. The unit of items that you have there is, if you check now, look up 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did you see that? So how many units do we have in each? How many units do we have in each of the output. How many units do we have in each of the outputs? One, so the numbers from 21 to 10, they are what? 10 units. From 21 to 30, they are 10 units. You saw I just got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the unit is what? 10. Did you see that? The unit is 10. So what is the frequency? The next frequency from the table, is what? The next frequency, 11. The next frequency, we are working with 21 to 30. So the next frequency is 11. Did you get that too? 11. 11. The next frequency is 11. Always look at the table very properly. So this is what we're going to do now. So we're going to do this. All right. So we go together. We can group this because this is how it's grouped. So let's go all together. So what are we supposed to do next there? If you follow board mass says you multiply before you add. You multiply before you add. So you are going to say 4.25 times 10. Did you get that? 4.25 times 10. 4.25 times 10. You just shift 1 0. It's going to be 42.5. Do you understand? Because it's 10. So it's equal to what? 30 plus 42.5 divided by 11. So you can now go ahead and divide. Or either you can even divide before you even multiply. So you can actually do 4.25 divided by 11. Can you try that? Yes, 4.25 divided by 11. If you follow board mass, you do division first. Okay, all right. So 30 plus 0. What? 386. 0.386. Good. So you can just take it this way. So you're grouping this times 10. Are you saying that following board mass, you do division first before what? Multiplication. Did you get that? So this times this 0.386 times 10. What is 0.386 times 10? Okay, so 30 plus 3.86. 30 plus 3.86. 30 plus 3.86. So if you do 30 plus 3.86, what are you going to have at the end of it? So 30 plus 3.86, 33.86, which is approximately equal to what? 34. So that is your answer. So the answer is that you have what? 34 units. You have 34 units. So that's for. So remember, we are finding the values of the quartile items. So the value of the quartile items for the lower quartile is 34 units. Remember, it's the lower quartile. The value of the item for the lower quartile is what? To the lower quartile. Okay.
Hello. This is Precious Frank. Yes, I was calling you to join class.
All right, so we taking it out.
STT206. Oh, we're still on. We started since.
All right, so
hello, what did you say?
So we want to look at. We want to determine the value of the median quartile.
Okay, yes, it's on record.
The value of the median quartile. We want to look at the value of the median quartile. So
okay now. That's why I called. I wanted to ask you question on that part.
Go ahead with the question.
Yeah, feeling
Go
with it.
ahead with it. Just ask what you wanted to ask. I will know what to say.
Okay, I can't ask without
I said the finding, what we're looking at, finding the value of the
is how
median
you
quartile.
got that 11.25.
11.25 was what we got when we calculated the lower quartile at the first instance by dividing, doing 0.25 times. We got it 0.25 n from the formula we had before now, which is, what is the value of n? N is 45. So when you do 0.25 times 45, you get 11.25. Is there in your note?
I did not write those parts.
Why? Is there in your note?
But you said I should copy this one before.
Listen, what is this? What is this? You have to concentrate and listen first, so you'll be able to get it. So I've been able to show you that to determine the lower quartile, the value of the lower quartile, denoted as Q1. What I just wrote there is Q1. Q1 represents the what? The lower value of the lower quartile. That is Q1, which I gave you the formula as this. And I said to determine the quartile items, QI, you are going to what? 11.25 minus the first item on your table, the first frequency on your table, which is what? 7. So gives you what? 4.25. Did you see that? Gives you 4.25. So now what we just did now is that this is the formula now. This is the formula. So we substituted every value into the formula there. So we now know Q1 as what? 4.25, which is this. L is the lower quartile. L is the lowest from the first output. The first output, we have there what? 30. 21 to what? To 30. Is that not so? 21 to what? To 30 from the first output. So we're going to be using the same formula to get the median quartile. The median quartile. I would prefer you don't write first. So if you have not copied this part, copy it quickly. Or even just snap. All right, so let's go on. So we want to get the value of the median quartile. The value of the median quartile is denoted as Q2. The value of the median quartile is denoted as Q2. So we are still going to use the same approach. Q2 is equal to L plus Q1. Remember what we have as Q1. And then we call that what? The frequency times the what? The units. times the unit. That's our formula, times the unit. So, but now we want to determine, before we go ahead to get the median quartile, so the quartile items, please just pay attention first before you go to write. So the quartile items, for us to get the quartile items, we need to subtract the median quartile. When we calculated the median quartile, what did we get at the first instance? We got a value at the median quartile. The first instance, what did we get?
Then,
The median quartile. The median quartile. What did we get? When we check the median quartile, this is what median quartile. This is what we got. 22 point what? 5 minus what is the next? What's the next cumulative frequency? Cumulative frequency. The next cumulative frequency. So what is the value now? 22.5 minus 18. What do we have? 22.5 minus 18. Four point
4.5.
4.5. So we have gotten the what? The quartile items. We have gotten the quartile items. So what is supposed to be the value of L from the table? What is the value of L? You know, the first part we use 30. What is going to be? So it's going to be the next output. Second output 40. The second output is what? So L will be what? Our L will be what? 40 from the second output. So what will be the frequency? What is the frequency?
11.
The next frequency, we have used 11 before. What's the next frequency? What do you want? Water. So what's the next frequency? What's the next frequency?
Next frequency is
What's the next frequency? Is 14. Frequency, I did not say cumulative frequency. The next frequency is, the frequency is what? 14. And then what's the unit? The unit is also, the unit has to do with, you check the output. The next output is from what? Is from 31 to 40. From 31 to 40, if you count, how many is it? The units generally is 10. So 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is what? 10. The unit is 10. So you can say the units is equal to what? 10. So let us substitute the value into the what? The formula. So Q2 is equal to what? L. What is the value of L? What is L there? Plus, what is Q1?
Q1 is 4.5.
And what is the unit?
Unit is 14.
What is the frequency?
14.
So what are we supposed to do first? Following board mass, we have to what? Take care of this, the division first. We say 4.5 divided by what? 14. 4.5 divided by 14.
0.321.
Times 10. So multiply by 10. 0.321 times 10.
3.21.
So we have 40 plus 3.21. So if you check it together, this is equal to what? 43.21. So which is approximately what? 43 units. Did you get? Because this is 2 and it's not up to 5, so it cannot round up. It cannot round up. So what you have there is 43 units. What you have there is 43 units. What do you mean? Okay. Okay. All right. So we've gotten for that. So we have to be fast so that we can conclude this class. Then we'll continue again. So that we can determine we want to determine the upper quarter.
No, I wanted that. Don't you put that inside? This one was looking for. Don't you have to put that inside? Yes.
Okay, so we are going to take out this part so we can get the value of the upper quarter. We need to determine the value of the upper quarter. Value of the upper quarter. So while I'm doing this, you have to be very deliberate, giving me each value for each item. So I'm going to be asking you need to give me each value. So we need to determine the value of the upper quartile. The value of the upper quartile, and we denote it as a what? Q3. Q3. So we use the same formula. We say Q3 is equal to what? L plus Q1. Isn't that Q1 times the units over the frequency F. F, which is the frequency. Which is the frequency. There's no mistake there, just anyway. Okay, so let us go ahead and obtain the first thing we need to get is, let's get Q1, the quartile items. So what do we do for the quartile items? How do we determine the value of the quartile item? What did we get as the upper quartile? When we calculated, what did we get as the upper quartile? What did we get as the upper quartile? We got 33.75. 33.75. That's what we got as the upper quartile. 33.75. So what are we going to subtract it with? We are subtracting it with the next frequency, the next cumulative frequency. The last one we subtracted from the 18 as a cumulative frequency. So what's the next cumulative frequency there? What are we subtracting it with? The next cumulative frequency. The next cumulative frequency. The last we subtracted by 18, 32. 32. So let's get that one. So 33.75 minus 32. You can just add 0. So this is 5, this is 7, so this is 1. So you have 1.75. 1.75 as your quartile items. So what is the frequency? What is the next frequency there? What do we have as the next frequency? What do we have as the next frequency? The last we used was 14. What's the next frequency? The next frequency is this. So F F is equal to what? 8. So what is the unit? The unit remains the same. It's still 10 from 51 or from 51 40 to from 41 to 50 is what? Is 10. So F is still so the unit is 10. So we just put in the values. So let's plug in the value. So Q3 is equal to what? L. L is what? What is L now? What is the value of L? What is the value of L? The value of L is 50. Value of L is 50. So plus the quartile items is what? 1.75 times 10 divided by the frequency. The frequency is 8. The frequency is 8. The frequency is 8. The frequency is 8. So let us go. We have 1.75 divided by 8. 1.75 divided by 8. 1.75 divided by 8. So we have 50 plus 0.218 times 10. So you have 0.218 times 10. So 2.18. 2.18. So if you add 50 plus 2.18, what's going to be your value? This will be what? 52.18. So which is actually approximately equal to what? 52 units. 52 units. So that is what you have as your value of the upper quarter.